My name is K. Carl Smith. I'm the president and founder of the Frederick Douglass Republican Movement. And I'm here because I'm concerned about the slave master-run health care. In other words, Obamacare. It's not something we need. We need to keep the power back with the citizens in determining the outcome of their health treatment and the future health treatment.
Do you think people understand exactly what Obamacare means to them?
I really don't think so. I think, it reminds me of a quote from Harriet Tubman. She said on one occasion, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed more only if they knew they were slaves." We're being enslaved and people don't even realize it. They think this free this and free that, it's all, they think it's charity and charity is best for them. That's not charity, that's slavery. And so what we have to do, we have to show people that we're being enslaved. And once they understand that we're being enslaved, I think they'll wake up. But people don't understand communism. They don't understand Maoism. So what I learned, you have to change the metaphor. You got to talk to them about slavery. And that's why Frederick Douglass is important, because Frederick Douglass talked about the health care he received from his master, how it was rationed, how it was controlled. And no matter what your injury was, no matter if it was a broken arm or upset stomach, you always got Epsom salt. And we're doing the same thing here, where those in power want to determine how we should live our lives and what kind of treatment is appropriate for us. Those are the techniques of oppression used by the slave master. It's identical to techniques of oppression used by the slave government in terms of this health care idea.
Do you think that they're going to be able to overturn Obamacare?
It's a tough question. I mean, we have some on the Republican side of the aisle. I mean, there are some Republicans there who won't stand up for the Constitution. They lack what I call conservative backbone. And so therefore, we have a chance, but will those moderate Republicans do it who want to do it just for political expediency because they want to win the general election next time? I don't have any trust in them. But I think through agitation from the private sector, through activists, political agitation, political activism, we can put pressure on them and get them to change. But it has to come from millions and millions of Americans to do that before they even take notice.
How are the Frederick Douglass Republicans, the group, doing?
We're doing very well. We're a young, conservative grassroots organization, but we're doing well. Last time I checked, about 60,000 people across the country have identified themselves as a Frederick Douglass Republican, and they have been trained in our Frederick Douglass methodology of engagement. And so it involves people of different ethnicities. I mean, to be a Frederick Douglass Republican is not based on your ethnicity. So we have, I think about 55–60% of the people who are Frederick Douglass Republicans are not even Black Americans. So we're very, very, very in terms of ethnicity, in terms of age. I mean, we're a La Raza, NAACP, and Tea Party on steroids in terms of the people who become part of our movement.
I saw that when we saw the gentleman speaking in Westchester, he was very vibrant and very actively engaged, and he didn't have a problem with speaking his mind. Is that exactly what y'all teach?
That's part of it. That's just Alan McIntyre. McIntyre is that kind of guy, and he's a great individual, and so he's very passionate about what he does. But in terms of the methodology, what we're doing is this. We realize the best way to save this country, we have to change political culture. And what we have to do, we have to empower conservatives. We have to preach to the choir, and we got to empower conservatives. How can I, as a conservative, talk to my friends, my family members, and my fellow citizens about my conservative values without the fear of being labeled a racist or a sellout? So how can we trump the race card? How can we win the class warfare attacks and get people to join the ranks of our movement? Because if we don't solve this diversity inclusion problem as conservatives, we're toast. And so, but all the studies show that this is a center-right nation. Considering this is a center-right nation, why are we having such a difficult time getting people to join the ranks of our movement? The problem is propaganda. We're losing the propaganda battle, so when we get out here and try to engage, our message falls on deaf ears because they see us as a racist or a sellout. And even though most people are conservative at heart, they don't. Our message don't resonate with them because why would I listen to a racist? Why would I even listen to a sellout? So we got to win the propaganda battle, and that's what we're teaching. We're traveling the country, we're preaching the choir, empowering the choir, the conservative choir, equipping them and training them how to go out and bring in new choir members. And we're giving the choir a new song to sing, because the song we're singing isn't working, and that's a Frederick Douglass Liberty Messenger melody.
They need to really speak. What I see a lot of is a lot of people see skin color and then they base your group on skin color, and that's something your group doesn't exactly see, does it?
No, it's all about values. we're values focused. I mean, to be a Frederick Douglass Republican, don't say it fast. It's not based on your ethnicity. It's based on your adherence to the four life empowering values of Douglass, who was, in my view, the quintessential constitutional conservative. Those values are, number one, respect for the U.S. Constitution, respect for life, the belief in limited government, and number four is the belief in personal responsibility. If you believe in those four life empowering values, then not only Douglass wrote about it, but he incorporated into his life to elevate his life from a slave to a statesman and from being born below poverty to prosperity.